Hi guys, thank you so much for watching this video and clicking on this video. Today I have with me a very important and special guest. I have with me Akinola Davies. He is the filmmaker and director of My Father's Shadow, and I can't wait for us to have this brief interview to discuss about the movie. Akinola, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing today and how is everything going over there?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to chat with you, Jesus. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm healthy. I'm happy. We have a film that's coming out in cinemas, or is out in cinemas, and also coming out in cinemas that we're really proud of. So, yeah, it's a real blessing, and just really, really excited.
So I have some questions because I've watched the movie like two times now, and I
Okay.
have like so many questions, but I'll just keep it brief. First,
Okay,
I want
cool.
to congratulate you on winning your BAFTA for your
Thank you.
first of many BAFTAs to come
Amen.
for for outstanding debut by a British writer. Also, your speech was amazing and courageous. I want to know what that moment felt for you, you winning this BAFTA. How does this feel for you?
Thank you so much for reminding me and saying it like that. Yeah, I mean, in the moment, I was very sort of shell shocked. I didn't really believe we would win the BAFTA because, the all the other films nominated are incredible. Obviously, you hope to win, but you never really take it for granted. So in the moment, I was very sort of shell shocked. Even to till today, I kind of still pinching myself because I don't really believe it's possible. But the
Yeah, I can
BAFTA
see
is,
the
you can
yes.
see it. But yeah, I think what it sort of means is just like I think my brother said it very well is that like there's so many of us who have like this dual heritage, and I think it kind of goes to show that like our stories are really important, especially if we're the ones who start to author our stories, and we are really proud of our cultures and the complexity with what it means to be like from a particular place across the continent, or any place in the global south that maybe doesn't get as much attention as like, the Europes and Americas of everything. But yeah, I think it's just a validation in how important our stories are and how those stories are also universal, how those
Yeah.
stories can travel and just yeah, we're just really proud of everybody involved with the film because I think everybody poured their hearts and souls, those in Nigeria, from Kenya, from South Africa, from the UK, from the Caribbean, like so many people worked on our film, and we're just really grateful that their work, obviously it feels like I won the BAFTA, but all of us won the BAFTA
Yeah.
together.
Also, I need to know, so what was the driving force behind this film? Why did you feel the need to tell this story?
Sure, I would say the driving force was memory and sort of this idea of loss. I think me and my brother Wale, we lost our father when we were really young. I mean, my other siblings were a bit older, but we never really had a relationship with our father. So it was really an opportunity in a creative way of like, how do we bring him back to life? How do we have the conversations that we never got to have? How do we yeah, create space for to hold that absence accountable. I mean, I think for us it's slightly different to the characters in the film because they're with their father, but for us we didn't have that opportunity. So that's why I love cinema, and I think it's an opportunity to go into ideas and using it as a platform to experiment and try things. And yeah, I think also when also being African, we also don't have that opportunity to speak to our fathers, to speak to our caregivers. I
Yeah.
think Wale was always saying they had loads of friends who, like, when their father would come home, they would just like run and hide and stuff like that, or
Yeah, daddy issues.
daddy issues. Shout out to daddy issues crew. You know what I mean? But yeah, just like a lot of that was the foundation for the film.
After watching this movie, I personally feel like it's like a love letter to Lagos because I
Mm.
grew up in Surulere, and correct me
Oh
if I'm
wow.
wrong, but like the
Mm.
colors, the people, the noise, the just the full life of it, was that
Mm.
intentional, and how important was it for you to portray Lagos the way you did?
Yeah, man, everything is super intentional. I think when you make a film, when you make a film and you shoot on film, you have to be very, very precise about the things you make. So yeah, it was super intentional. I mean, I think the Lagos I grew up in the 90s was obviously under military dictatorship, but I still enjoyed growing up there. I still, love people and have memories and, like playing football on the street, going to primary school, going to secondary school in Maryland, going to primary school in Lupeju, like going to Ikoyi Club, like all these
Yeah,
things that I found very exciting as a kid, growing up in Bagada, again, driving past the National Stadium in Surulere,
to
like all
relate.
those things
Yeah,
were just super exciting, I'd always be like, oh, that's where the Super Eagles play and stuff like that. And I just didn't feel like we had enough references of Lagos on screen. So
true.
it was very important to sort of create an archive so that so that we can, yeah, have something to look back on for future filmmakers, or even just like Nigerians or even just people outside of Nigeria who want to understand like the architecture of Lagos, like driving over Third Mainland Bridge, you always see Unilag like in the distance, like
Yeah.
and it's just how do we, or National Theatre or whatever, and it's like how do we start to create this archive in film so that people around the world can see where we're from and see, you know, yeah, just see us as who we are and see the city. And Lagos also being a city that can be very slow and then can be very hectic in the blink of an eye. It's like, how do you capture
True.
that on film?
And it was done perfectly because I
Thank
felt
you.
like, yeah, this is my childhood. I felt that watching it.
It's all by design. It's all what we were trying to put into the film because, yeah, we love where we're from. It's not the easiest relationship, but is all we have. So you have to be
Yeah.
very proud of how you talk about it, and you have to be honest when you talk about it for the right and wrong, the good and the bad as well.
So I want to talk about like the kids in this film because they felt so specific and so real. Obviously, it's about
Mm,
your story. There's a moment where the young boy, Aki, yeah, I think it's Aki, the last born, he refused to eat akara because it had onions and his
mm-hmm,
obsession with fan ice. And I saw
mm-hmm,
myself completely in that because when I was young, I do not like to eat akara. I love akara, but if I see onions, I just get
mm,
irritated. And I love
mm.
fan ice so much. So I want to know, was that level of specificity drawn from your own childhood, and was the making of the character, was it your intention to make the characters feel more relatable?
Yeah, 100%. I think we wanted to make the characters feel more relatable. I think sometimes when you see films about Africans and Nigerians, everybody feels very one-dimensional. They only have one, they're either angry and they can't understand like a simple thing that would make them less angry. And it's just like that's what me and my brother spoke about. We wanted to create people that felt very real, like we knew them and they were relatable. Um, and those, a lot of things of those characters in the film are based on people we know. Like we know an area boy called Corridor. We've worked with him for years, like he's someone who's been very important to the way we like film things in Nigeria. And a lot of those people, we really respect them and we love them. I think also to be Nigerian comes with a big reputation. So I think it's really important to humanize people when you have an opportunity to do so because we're not just all like one-dimensional people. Insofar as the onions, yeah, I don't like onions. Everybody who's close to me knows that. Everybody who's like my friend
Yeah,
knows that it's an open secret that I don't like onions. And then people want to ask me like, why don't you like onions? Onions are in everything, but I've just never liked them. And
same.
having an inside joke with me and my brother were like, how do we put this in a film so people once and for all know I don't like onions?
Yeah.
But still, it hasn't worked. So maybe in the next film, I have to say again, I have to mention how much I dislike onions,
Oh, I think it
basically.
worked perfectly. 'Cause when I saw it, I was like, whoa. And my friend was beside me and he hit me. He was like, this is so you.
Yeah.
Because I don't like seeing onions in my food. So regarding the actor Chope, why did you decide to use Chope? Why did you think he was the right person for this film?
I've seen Chopin in a few things before. I saw him in the theater. I thought it was incredible. I saw him in a film called His House with Wumi as well. I
Yeah.
thought they're both incredible. So when it came down to looking for people, I think I saw him was in Gangs of London. I saw him on a bus, and I was like, okay, this guy can do the strong physical like dad. But I remember His House, he did a very sensitive performance. So I think for us, it was like someone who can do the big masculine person, but also do like a soft performance. And I think Shokpe, being of Nigerian heritage as well, like had a lot of insecurities about his relationship with Nigeria. And I think for that, it was very important to work with someone who, is like, is thinking of their place in the world and how to um yeah, and how they respond to an aspect of a culture that they find very difficult to claim for themselves. Um, and yeah, I think Shokwe is so sensitive that like he just felt like the right choice. And then when we worked with him, we realized how incredibly talented. I mean, we knew he was already talented, but I think working with him, you saw that up close, how incredibly talented he is. And I think when you work with someone that special, like you don't even really need to direct them. You're just watching them be an artist
Yeah.
effectively.
Watching this movie also, I got some Moonlight flashbacks. So I wanted to know like if there's some movies you drew inspiration from, both maybe internationally and from Nigeria. What were the movies you watched or revisited for before making this movie, in preparation for this movie?
Great question. There's a film by Hype Williams who used to do music videos called Belly, as like
Yeah.
DMX and Nas in it. I think the way that film lights black skin is incredible.
Yeah.
There's a film by Senegalese filmmaker Ousmane Sembene who has a film called Mandabi, which is about a traditional guy who's trying to get a money order from his nephew in Paris and has to go through so many different hoops just to be able to get his money. I showed that to my brother and he really loved it. I really love Alfonso Cuarón, the Mexican guy. His film Roma, I thought was really beautiful, and the way the camera moves around 360. Um, what else is there? There's an Italian film called Bicycle Thieves that was also really incredible. Father and son, like working class, trying to, they had the bicycle stolen, so they're trying to find it. There's loads of films. There's a Japanese film called Shoplifters, which I really loved as well. A Turkish film called Mustang, I really love as well. Um, Nigerian films, a film called Eimo Fair that I think is really beautiful. Another film called All the Colors of the World Between Black and White. I think it's an incredible film. I really love Genevieve Nagi's Lionheart. I don't think it was like a reference, but I think there is conversations around like her taking over her father's business and is she going to be able to do that? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, we had loads and loads of references, and I think ultimately a lot of those references are just things that you see and you see how the films are done. But really, I think when my brother writes, he gets more references from books and stuff like that.
Yeah, the film is so stunning to look at, and I
Thank
want to
you.
know if you can walk us through how it was shot, the approach, the look you were going for, the collaboration with the cinematographer, because as every scene was going by, I was just stunned and amazed at how it was shot. Like you said, the way it was shot, for shots on Black people is so gorgeous. So I need to know what was that process for you?
Sure. Yeah, I work with an incredible cinematographer called Jermaine Edwards. He's of Jamaican British, somebody who is very invested in telling Black stories, African stories, because, I think to be Nigerian is also to be Pan-African. And I think there's so much solidarity with like two cinematographers I've worked with who have had like impact on me. Shabia is from Antigua and Jermaine, who's Jamaican British. And I think there's a lot of solidarity between the sort of work we create. And I think Jermaine is also just incredibly talented and a wonderful artist. A lot of what we spoke about and the way we were going to approach the filming was the themes of the film. So this idea of decay, of things like falling apart, of things maybe not being able to believe what you're seeing and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we really focused on that idea of decay of the people and the nation and the things falling apart. Um, Equally, I shot on film. I wanted to shoot on 16 because I wanted to see Nigeria and Black people on the most beautiful format, which is celluloid. The way we shoot on celluloid is very slow. It means you have more time with your cast and crew. When you're shooting with children, it means you have more time with them. We wanted to focus on people's faces because I think a face tells like a story in of itself. I think. Yeah, I think there's so many reasons in the way we wanted to make the film. I think a lot of texture we shot on film because we wanted it to evoke memory and nostalgia and all these things. But yeah, there's just so many things that went into shooting of the film, being very specific. Shooting from a child's perspective
Yeah.
allows you to see the world, even though very mundane, in a very magical way, because you're in the perspective of children. Yeah, so many things, so many things.
Yeah, thank you so much for answering that. What should we be expecting from you next? What should we be looking out for from you next after My Father's Shadow?
Sure. I mean, at the moment, I'm still promoting our film, My Father's Shadow. We have film has to come out in different parts. There's a lot of the film to be seen in Canada. There's a lot of the film to be seen um, in Brazil. There's a lot of the film to be seen in France, in Spain. So really, I'm just promoting the film as much as possible. I think we made a beautiful film, and I want everybody to see how incredible my collaborators and everybody I've worked with on this film, how incredible they all are. And then me and my brother, we're gonna start doing some research, and hopefully, we're gonna maybe start working on the next idea. But I have a documentary I want to try and complete and make, which is also about Nigeria. It's also like about politics, similar themes to My Father's Shadow, but it's all working with like archive footage from the 90s in Nigeria. So yeah, and then I have a documentary series which is coming out on iPlayer about Black life in the UK, and the sort of rhythms and frequencies of Black life in the UK. So yeah, man, I just love making films. Anything that enables me to make films about my people and my culture, I'm really excited about.
Okay, so lastly, for a young black filmmaker who has the desire but genuinely doesn't know where to start when it comes to making films, do you have some tips or advice? Do you have like tips or anything you'd like to say to people who are inspired by your work and what you do and want to be filmmakers in the future?
Sure. There's a really, really incredible book. If you only ever buy one book, there's a book called Rebel Without a Crew. Is by Robert Rodriguez. That film almost single-handedly made me believe I could make films because the way they break down information is so simple and it's so accessible. So I would say, yeah, that book, Rebel Without a Crew by Robert Rodriguez, for any starting filmmaker, watch that because it also teaches you how to make films like straight away. Beyond that, I would say like work with people on your level. So work horizontally. Don't try and work with really, really big people because they're not going to give you the time you need. Write what you know. My brother always says, don't start writing about kung fu if you've never done any kung fu before.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, maybe just trust that your stories are important and and you have an audience. So just believe in yourself and believe in your stories.
Yeah, thank you very much. Before I let you go, where can people watch My Father's Shadow? And is there anything you'd like to say to anyone who hasn't seen it yet?
People can watch My Father's Shadow. If they go to the movie website, you can find a link to where My Father's Shadow is showing in your territory. The film is going to be in cinemas in Spain on the 5th of March, in France on the 25th of March, and in Brazil early April. But at the moment, the film is currently in cinemas in the UK, in Ireland, in the US, and in Canada. So if you go to the link in my bio, you can find where you can find a My Father's Shadow screening, and eventually, maybe around May, is going to be streaming on Mubi. So yeah, if you've not seen the film, I encourage you to see the film. It's a film that is for everyone. It's a film that situates the sort of um, yeah, the Nigerian, the African experience. It's a film about fatherhood, about nationhood, about brotherhood. Yeah, it's like a beautiful and emotive film. So I encourage everybody to support independent cinema and support
Yeah.
sort of African films and storytelling.
Yeah, it was such a good movie. I've watched it twice, and I don't like watching movies two times, but I
Mm.
felt this one. It was so good, and I also can't wait for it to come on digital so I can rewatch it over and over again and capture the scenes because it was beautifully shot. It's a very, very
Thank
good
you.
movie, you guys need to watch it. And yeah, thank you so much for taking out the time to discuss this movie with me. I really appreciate it so much. And so that's it, guys. Don't forget to check out My Father's Shadow in the cinemas near you. And yeah, thank you so much once again, Akinola, and congratulations on everything. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Jesus. Nice to meet
Okay,
you.
nice to meet you. Thank you so much.